So I guess right now I just wanted to talk a little bit about my IUD. Um, yeah, I think that there's just such a weird correlation with, you know, how everything has played out over the last few years and the fact that I have this IUD, the Paragard Copper IUD, is what I have, and I got it because I just really didn't want to worry about getting pregnant, you know? I mean, it's been 3 years now, and I was just got out of a long-term relationship, 5 years, and I was like sort of gonna start maybe dating or, and I didn't want to think about that. And I was also just kind of starting my career a little bit more. So, yeah, I just felt like, that's just something I don't want to worry about. And I think that right there is a kind of a big thing to realize or, admit that I was trying to A, control something, and B, kind of do it in a way that was just like easy, whatever, and it's like, actually, maybe I should have just been more considerate of like, who am I sleeping with or whatever, and not that I was really sleeping around much at all or doing Tinder or anything like that, but not that there's anything wrong with that either. I'm just saying, like, for me it was just I want to do this because then I know that I won't have to worry about it, and it's non-hormonal. I knew I didn't want to mess with my hormones. I've never liked the regular birth control pills or anything like that. Just never really worked for me. I just got very emotional and like mentally screwed up from them. So I knew that was out, and at the time, like, that's all I thought. I'm like, IUD, and then I heard about the copper one and I was like, perfect. And I thought, like, copper, it's like a conductor of energy, like I'm into energy and healing and crystals, so cool, it's perfect. But in reality, like, looking back, and talking to my acupuncturist and him mentioning how I have low chi and low blood, and think back, like, how did I lose all this blood? Oh yeah, my IUD, the first like 6 to 8 months of me having it, I bled a lot, like a lot, like for like a week to 10 days, like full bleeding through tampons and pads, like through a super tampon, through a thick pad that was under my tampon, because there was nothing else I could do. Like, I bled so much that no wonder that I don't have blood. And then another couple things I've realized that kind of go hand in hand, and it's all from the same time, so it's like, I'm not saying all of this is from just the IUD, but it all, is a factor for sure. I know it, and I just want to get it out ASAP, I think. So the other things that went hand in hand are the fact that I kept getting like recurring BV, like bacterial vaginosis, like right on the month, like right after my period, I think, or right leading up to, right after it, I would get it. And I've never gotten it before. And this was about, 6 months to a year of having the IUD. And then I had it for like a year. So basically, first 6 to 8 months was just horrible bleeding, horrible cramping, and you think, like, why'd you go, like, keep it? And it's like, well, I don't know. I thought that's what just would happen. And once you got used to it, it was like risk-free or thought-free, just kind of done. anyway, so then the BV then started probably around a year of having it, and I would just get it every month, and I was going crazy because it's like, what the fuck, you know? Like, I've never had this problem. Like, I'm not like super sleeping around. Like, I'm really not. Like, I just didn't get it, you know? And it was too tied to my period. It was too tied to the IUD. And I went back to Planned Parenthood, and they just kept telling me. I even actually recorded the guy, now that I think about it, because I remember thinking, this is bullshit. Like, how can you straight tell me, oh, no, this has nothing to do with the Paragard. They're, you know, that's just a coincidence. And it's like, that's the only thing I've changed. You know, that's a major change that's down there. How can you tell me it has nothing to do with it? Like, either the copper's messing with me or something's not right, because this is not right. So the like, and I didn't want to keep taking antibiotics. I had already taken like 2 rounds, maybe 3 rounds, which is more than I would normally ever take. Like, I know how bad they are for you. They wipe out all the good bacteria too. So it's like leading back to that. This is all from there. And wow. And so what else? The BV. And then I just started getting kind of sick. And with my periods, I also would start getting cold sores really bad. Like, really bad. Like, the worst cold sores I've had since I was like, when I was a little kid, I would get them when I was like 5 or 6. And you know, a few times throughout my life, but it would be like years between. Like, I'd get one and then years would pass and it wouldn't really happen again. With this, when I was doing the BV, or like getting the BV, and then around that same time, like the second year of having this, I'd get these crazy cold sores, like to where like I couldn't work. Like, it's like, I mean, I would go, but I would just feel so awful. And I feel like that all tied into like emotionally how I'm feeling, how I'm interacting, how I'm with work. Like, it affects you, you know? And not to mention all of the other, you know, just personal life things happening at this time through this whole time. And my diet had gotten significantly worse just with working a lot and eating food and snacks on set and at work and, you know, whatever. Eating way more sugar. Just all these things. And, you know, I can't blame that on the Paragard, but I definitely just feel like, wow, there's been so many signs and warnings of my body telling me something's wrong, you know, take this thing out, and I haven't really heard it, because all I've heard was, I don't want to have a baby. And it's like, you know what, that's not, and maybe not even up to me, you know, maybe I should have had some baby by now, I don't know, you know, but fuck. And there's other ways too. Like, the second I get this thing out, I'm gonna do that, I think there's a few different kinds or brands, but basically there's a way to check your ovulation through, what's it called? Through taking your temperature. So I definitely want to do that, because it's totally just non-invasive. You just track your temp, I think, every day or something, and there's certain times where, like, you know you're ovulating, and then you just don't have sex. Or if you do, you use a condom or something else. But yeah, I just really wanted to get this out because it's really on my mind right now, and I just think it all makes so much sense, and I think that getting this out is definitely going to be healing for me, regardless of, oh, that's not your breast, or, you know, how could that have caused your breast cancer? But I really think that it's a part of it. I think it's a part of where it stemmed from and the root. You know, maybe the root was already started from a little bit before that, an emotional thing. You know, lots of things. It's been brewing, you know what I mean? Like, and I think getting the IUD, just looking back on it and everything that's happened since then, it's just like, oh my god, like, totally. It totally has something to do with it. So yeah. I'm frustrated about it. Again, it's a thing where I'm just like, why did I do that? Like, and I don't want to beat myself up. I don't want to beat myself up. Like, I don't want to beat myself up about getting a mammogram when I knew it's gonna be bad, you know, bad for you. And I know everything's bad for you, really, but I'm just tired of going against what I know. And I think that's a big thing, you know, like, you have to be honest with yourself and fucking listen to yourself, because that's when you start not trusting yourself. When you start not listening to yourself, and then you're like, shit, I was wrong, or I was right, or, you know, and it gets messy, because then you just can't tell anymore. You can't tell which part of you you're listening to, your mind, your heart, your fucking ego, and it just gets messy. So I'm just trying to dial back, to go back a little bit to before all this shit happened, before shit hit the fan. And amazing things have happened too, don't get me wrong. But it's like pulling at this like string to figure out, like, okay, where did this come from? You know, what is going on? Like, there's too many signs, and my body is like so important, you know? Like, our bodies, it's like, this is the body you have right now, you know? It's the one you got, and you might as well listen to it and understand it and figure out what works and what doesn't work and what you need. So yeah, that's it for now. I just really wanted to get this out about this IUD, and I shall be having it removed. Considering just removing it myself after seeing a lot of people do that. But I think it's good to wait, apparently, until you're on your period, which is still a little bit away, so I might just go get it taken out, because I need it out. Okay, thanks.